All right. So our workshop today will be about the using technology in the online and the blended learning. So I want to make sure everybody, do you hear me? Do you see my screen? Okay.
Boss.
Okay. So let's talk together about these technologies. So as we all mentioned, that last semester we have this kind of tough time because students they have to learn remotely. And we all agree that the online environment, the students might feel like they are isolated and they don't see the faces. And uh, somebody is talking. I'm not sure now. So that's why it's very good to just adapt these kind of techniques and strategies in order to help them to feel like we are approachable. They are able to just get to us whenever they need us. We are available. That's why this kind of technology, it could help us, but we need to know how to employ them. Let's see in here what will be the impact. And I encourage all of you, you can just please participate whenever you need. What are the impact of technology? Number one, how does it help in our classes, especially in the online and remote classes? How do you think? Uh, just to make it easier, I will just put this slide in front of all of us. And how do you see? What is the difference between these two pictures? What's the difference between the top and bottom one? Yes. Who's gonna share with us? Somebody? If you don't mind, you can just, I don't know why I see your.
The top picture, everyone has one focus. They seem to be paying attention to someone speaking, but the bottom picture, it looks like everyone they're engaged, but this guy is having problems. The one in the front. The top picture, everybody's happy.
True. So yes, you bring on a very good point. They are happy and engaging. But how about the bottom ones? So they don't feel comfortable. So they are either on their laptops playing games, or maybe they are just listening to the iPods. Maybe they are on the cell phones. They send messages, text each other. That's why in here you can see a difference. What's main target? Yes, this picture. I want to see my class as this picture. It's not easy. So let's come to the next one. So in here, obviously the previous slide, it was about the face-to-face classes. But in here, it looks like this is remote or online class. I have two pictures. I have a right and left one. Which one do you like it better? Which one do you feel like the student is engaged or actively learning? How do you think, the right or left one?
It would be my right.
Yeah, it would be right. Why? Because in here,
He's doing coding. He's immersed simulation. He's doing media production. He's engaged. He's engaged in creating, designing.
that's true. Yes, that's true. But does it mean that technology by itself? Why did I bring these two slides? Because this is what I would say. Technology by itself, it doesn't lead to engaging. Technology, it will be based on the instructor, how to employ this kind of technology to engage the students. So sometimes we are, and I have that experience before. You post something, maybe video, maybe something interesting, but at the end of the day, you find the student, they are in somewhere else. Oh, I didn't play, I didn't watch it, I don't have the time. So we need to consider that those students, they are coming or they are drawn to the online environment because they have busy life. So right now they have kind of different challenges. Maybe they are taking care of a family member who is sick. Maybe they are taking care of kids. Some of them they are full timer. Let me share with you something. Like maybe 10 or more years ago, I had an online class. I was a student in an online class. And since then, I was like, no, 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 I'm not gonna take this experience again. It was horrible. Why? I feel I completely isolated. I don't see my instructor. And whenever I have a question, the answer just comes to me way later after submitting the assignment. So most of the time, I was frustrated. So that's why online is kind of a challenge for some of the students, especially using technology. It could be hard for them, some of them. Let's go to the next slide. In here, is there any difference? Both of them, they are bridges, right? Is there any difference between these two bridges? Which one is, yeah, which one? The top one. So the top one, it looks like short, smooth, white, and I think my
Just hop through it.
exactly. But on the other hand, how about this one? How do you see?
That one is is a little more challenging. They have to be careful with the steps they take, make sure they don't fall over.
It could be scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary. What will happen if I fall over? And at the meantime, I don't see my destination that much. So this bridge, we want a gap. We want to bridge the gap between the face-to-face and online by using this technology tool. But we need to know why we're using, how to use it in order to hit our target. So this is our first objective. We need to know what is the impact, and we will explore some tech tools, and we will know how to select the best one, the best tool in order to engage our student. But let me ask you, do you think that we have some challenges just using these technology tools? Yes. What are they, Jenny? We have a lot. Yes, kind of, or some sort of challenges. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe students are unable to use. Maybe it doesn't. Just the students they feel more comfortable doing the. I have some of my students. They feel like okay, just let me have a paper. Let me have a hard book because this is the way I used to study. So kind of challenges. That's why in here we need to know what are the challenges and what are the tips and solutions how to overcome it. All right. Before we start talking about here this using technology, so our main target is what effective teaching, right? So can we share together what are the features, what are the criteria of effective teaching? How can we just get the best outcome of our classes? Can we share together? This I can control. This is one of the challenges, maybe. So, Colin, are you able to help? So I don't know what is the delay. Where does it come from?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. So, in order to start talking about the technology, we need to know what are the features of the effective teaching. So, we are coming in here in order to know how to use the tech tools to improve our teaching. So, what are the features of this effective teaching? How do you think? Ask somebody to share.
As I said, the first thing will be to get the attention or the interest of the student.
Yes.
If we don't have their attention, we can speak at the we're blue in the face. They won't get anything.
Yeah, I agree with you. So we can say, I think everybody, if you feel comfortable using the chat box, maybe it would be helpful. This strategy.
Um,
So
I, one of the features that I have, I use Zoom, and I try to find things that they can like work in pairs to help each other. And see, my course, they're studying to be good writers, right? And they have to read passages so they can
right.
see the structure of a good sentence, what it looks like, and a paragraph, and then an essay.
Mhm.
So for them to get engaged in that, I have to make it personal. Luckily, we write narratives, so we read things about other families, and then and then I want them to apply that to themselves. But to make it interesting, if okay, their writing is authentic because they're writing about their own lives. And I'm thinking of something they can create. They can build to at the end, maybe create. Being that we're using technology, maybe they can write a book or something. I don't know. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. Yes, Jenny. Uh,
Oh yes.
yes. Give all the chances of simulation. You cannot unmute, so you can.
Okay. Hi. Good
Hi.
afternoon. Yes, in terms of future, I'm not quite sure what you mean by the features of effective teaching in terms of if you mean the technology or what outcomes do we want for our students. So I wasn't quite sure, but in terms of features, I'm not sure if you mean, well, visuals and the fact that students respond or retain more when you have more visuals. Or if I think as one, I think was saying, if we can grab their attention, keep them engaged, have interactive classes where we have the students actually involved in the learning process and the teaching process as well. So I wasn't quite clear what feature of effective teaching means.
So effective teaching, just before using as tool. But effective teaching means that, as you all said, engage the students, let them to be more interested in the class, let them to be looking forward for the next step, let them to feel our presence. So authentic presence, as you all see that whenever you come to a class and you see instructor like smiling, waiting for you, it will be different. You feel your instructor is approachable, also communicating. So I think most of us had that before, that we have these students with some non-course related issues. So maybe they have some problems or some obstacles that they need our help and assistance. So we need to show them this communicating support, share information, building up skills, and access as well. So in order, so see, some of you are talking, but I don't see anybody. So someone's talking. So in here, assessing the understanding, this is very important. But my point is, we used to do it as like exams, But right now, we have a lot of tech tools that it will enable us to check the understanding of our students, but in a different way, in like game-based way, or maybe case scenario. I will share with you some of the tools that I am using. I know that we are all using, but just to yeah, to have it more visual, to have more interactive. So if I do the announcement, this is one thing that I learned. Usually I put announcement or I send emails, but good number of students, they don't look at their emails, and they are sick of like text, heavy text environment. So yes, we have to read the lecture, we have to read the PowerPoints, we have to read the questions. It's a lot. So I feel like, okay, how about posting a video, a very short video, like couple of minutes, introducing myself with a smiling face, giving them some kind of an idea about my background, what do I like, and how I will just run the class, give some tips how to follow. Right. And you said WhatsApp. Yes, you can do. But students prefer the visual. And this is very effective in order to be able to reach out to the students. It will attract their attention. Oh, yeah, there is something interesting in here. Also, I try to post a video, a short video, a tool to navigate the canvas. Some of them, as Irene mentioned, that they are unaware of the how to use canvas. And I last semester I have some of the students, they have problem how to submit their assignments in the canvas, and they were struggling, keep emailing me. So I feel like, okay, let me just post them a short video how to go step by step. Yes, short videos on Canvas. I agree with you completely, 100%. And the attention span, as we all know, of the students is very short. It's like 10 to 15 minutes by maximum. So we all say that if our topic is large, like ours is large, so we can chunk it in small pieces in order to let them to absorb it. And then we will be just checking their understanding as we will see. I love this. So I will try to do it. In here, do you have a question? Yes. So thankfully, the online team, they are doing very great job. So they are making some sessions in order to let these students to know how to use Canvas. But again, I feel like I can reinforce it on my end. I can just make Q&A session at the beginning of the semester. Do you have any question about the course, the tool? And it's nice to do something, a Kahoot or maybe Quizlet or any of these game-based learning tools. It will enable us to use it. I do it in the first day. So first day activity about the syllabus. Do you know where is the when will be the exam one? Do you know what will be the project? So what is the due date for the first step of the project? All of these. And moreover, it will enable us to make community, to build a community in the class. As we said, we don't want the students to feel isolated. And a reminder of a task. How many of us agree with this? Do students need a reminder? Yes. Yes. So we have like a list of when are the due dates. However, oh, I forgot. I was having such a busy day or a horrible day, and I forgot this was my exam or assignment. So sometimes, whenever it's something major, they need a reminder. We can just make a video conference, and as you all know, like the virtual hours right now, the office hours, we can do it virtually, and it will be helpful for the students if they have anything, any comment, they need Q&A sessions, all of these. So all of that, it could be through the announcement. Let's come to this. So you remember, we comment on here for the discussion. Yes, they are engaged, but we can make this class engaged while they are home, as we are doing right now, right? So we can use any WebEx, any video conference, and I love the Canvas conference so far. But they promised that the WebEx will have the breakout rooms. The breakout rooms, it will enable the student to talk to each other in order to interact, in order to collaborate, in order to be more creative, so they can work together in order to prepare presentation. And I think, Karen, you mentioned that your students are making presentations, so they can use the Prezi, they can use the infographics, they can just work together. Students, they like the technology, so they can better interact, right? Uh, so by discussion, what is the main purpose of discussion? How do you think? And why not all of the students they like it? Yes, somebody to share with us?
Uh, Many students, particularly young ones, are afraid of being ridiculed. They are afraid of making mistakes, and everybody is going to laugh at them, and they are going to look bad. It is very difficult in a face to face environment to get them to ask questions. They don't ask questions because of this, they don't want to look bad. So, what I have been doing in the years I've been teaching
Mhm.
is I tell them two things. One, there is no stupid questions. There are only stupid mistakes that you make because you didn't ask a stupid question, which is true,
Yes,
particularly once you go to work.
yes,
If you don't get your directions straight, you made a big mistake, you get fired.
I agree. Yes, come.
The second thing that I tell them is if somebody laughs at what you say or makes fun of you, I am watching and I will make sure that I ask that person that laughed at you a question that they will not know the answer to and to which they will have to answer. So you will have your chance to laugh at that particular person.
Yes, I agree.
The idea is don't laugh at somebody because they ask a question,
Yeah.
because you will get your turn. It works sometimes, but
Yeah.
in a remote environment, how do you do that?
When my students will ask me a question again, because it's usually grammar related, or a pronunciation question, I always tell them, oh, I love that question, that's a great question because I love to teach this.
Mhm.
So then you start getting everyone, that does have a question, asking questions, and now they're not afraid. And the thing is that when a student asks a question, it's usually 3 or 4 people thinking the same, having the same question. So
Yes, yes. In addition, so by the discussion, yes, you mentioned valid points. So in here, all of these, they are student to student interaction. We also need to enhance the student and content interaction. And sometimes we have this issue, especially for the online learning. So we are posting the question, and the students, they don't like reading a lot. So I see. I could see that, like, let's say, for in my area, the case scenarios or case studies. So, how about posting this live video? It will just bring the material content to life, and this will just stimulate the students. Okay, let me look at this, and if it is funny, it will be better. So, in here, I will just share with you this video for like 2 minutes, and instead of asking you what will be the techniques or the protocol how to answer the phone call in medical office? because these are my students. So instead of asking them and they keep thinking, so I will say, hopefully that it will work in here. Just look at this and tell me how to think. Are you able to hear it?
What do you do with a talkative caller? Hang up and pretend it was an accident? Pretend to listen and do something else instead. Talk over them and beat them at their own game? Yes, that's great, Mrs. Berg. Okay, gotta go. Bye-bye. Or just go with the flow. That sounds fascinating. Yeah, I wish I could have been there. Uh-huh. Oh, really? Uh-huh. Well, I've never had a schnitzel. This is where you balance polite and professional.
So this is one way. Instead of asking them, what will be the difference between polite and professional? What will be the difference if you answer the phone calls with a smiling face, or you are angry and just you are coming out of a situation that you are upset or something? So in here, it will make the students to interact easily, and I can ask them what will be the difference and what is the good and what is the bad protocol or techniques. I think this will enable the student to interact better. And we have this kind of tools on Canvas. We can just post this on Canvas and let the student to respond either by Flipgrid, so they can record themselves, they can type it, they can share with us kind of links in order to enable us to have more information. So by those means, we can make the interaction between the student and content in such an interesting way. Do you all agree or no? How do you think?
Agree.
Okay, so any suggestion? Do you think we can do it better? And by the way, the comment on the discussion also can be recorded. It doesn't have to be just through the rubrics and I will show them what's right, what's wrong. It has to have encouraging comments if they are improving. It has, if they see our faces, just recording the comments, it could help them to. I had a couple of students this semester, and they didn't do well at the beginning, and they keep asking why my grade doesn't come up, why my grade's not just improving. And we keep working, and by the end of the semester they were doing very well in the online class. And I feel like, okay, she was asking how I'm doing right now. I was like, okay, I am proud of your performance right now. So this kind of encouragement affect the students. Yes, of course. We need to have a rubric in order to guide the students how to respond, what we are expecting from them, and what are the how we are grading. Is it just haphazard, or we have certain just rubrics in order to follow? Okay. So this is for the discussion, and then let's come to here. Look at this picture. This is the content, and this is our mess. If your student is taking like 4-5 classes, each class with a textbook, so they feel like it's too much, it's a lot to study, and most of the time they feel it is text heavy, and we don't have that time to do. And as we all agree, yes, our students are coming out of just very long day. Okay, give them a schedule. I agree with you, Irene. But at the beginning, so I like to make the PowerPoints like more colorful, in order to attract the attention. And very important that you mentioned, some of you mentioned that we can post them short videos. And these short videos, it will be in the form of conversational language. So it doesn't have to be just talking, and That's it. So how about including some questions in the middle and giving them an outline and ask them to dig deeper into it so they will be able to come out with fascinating results. So how do you think? Did you try the video recording videos before for lectures? And how do you feel it? Somebody to share with us.
I think the shorter you can keep the lectures, the better. And even if you have, normally I teach classes that are 3 hours long, and I would lecture for the first half, and then we'd have some sort of activity the second half. So rather than lecture for an hour and a half, break those lectures into smaller chunks. So I lecture for 15, 20 minutes, and then they have some activity and lecture for another 15, 20 minutes, because you can see their eyes glazing over when you're in person, and that that's even worse if you're not there. So keeping it short, I think, helps.
So yeah, thank you, Karen. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, because like by maximum after 20 minutes, they start to stare at you like this. What are you talking about? I'm so tired. I can't focus anymore. Yes. And I understand. I had that student. He wasn't that bad at all. He was an A student, and he had he was preparing for nursing, taking some classes, but he has overnight shift every day, and he comes to the class with a pink eye, and if you don't interact with him, he is gonna fall asleep. So yeah, we have to consider all of these. And for recording on Canvas, let me tell you, whenever you are video conferencing your students on Canvas, you have this feature on the video conference. You can click record, and it will be shared with the students, but after a while. The same thing for WebEx. If you're using WebEx, Zoom, you are able to record yourself, and it's better. So some instructors, they prefer to record the whole lecture, like 1 hour or maybe hour 15, but it's advisable, it's recommended, as we have this certification for online teaching. They said it's better to be, as Karen mentioned, to be split into small chunks. Smaller chunks will help them to just divide it, absorb, and this is something I love it. So while you're watching the video, the presenter can say, please just stop the video and think about this question, or try to solve this problem. Instead of giving them easily the material, no, they need to just do some effort in order to look for the answers or solve the problems, and then they can resume the video. So someone asks, so what are the different tools we can use for the video recording? So easily we can, as we have it in here, sorry. So these are the mini lecture. So in here we can have it on Canvas, as we mentioned, or Zoom, or the WebEx. And also we can use this Screencast-O-Matic. We can use this all. So you can use the easier. And it's better. It has been an advice to use simple tools for you and for the students in order to be able to master the material. So our main target, the student will be able to master the subject or the material rather than the technology. All right. I love this quote about the active learning. So in here, what I hear, I forget. What I see, I remember. What I do, I understand. And we all know that. So let me share with you a recipe of anything. Once I'm done, if you share it with me, once you're done, I will forget all about it. But if I watch it in a YouTube video, I can remember it. But once I do it by myself, I will never forget it. So this is our active learning. That's why it's better to just add many videos to ask the student what about your opinion? How do you think? How to improve it? What are the steps? And also you can ask them to just give a summary of what do they get from this video. All of these, they are really helpful tools. Okay.
Yeah,
And,
this is,
yeah.
oops. No, I said that is the basis for a multimedia type of teaching. You hear what you tell them, they see what slides or things you project, and then you give them activities or you give them homeworks or to reinforce what you have explained.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
that is the basis of multimedia, which is not that difficult to implement these days because we have so much technology in our hands.
Exactly. So we have so much technology, but the skill how to implement this technology in order to help our courses, so our objectives, in order to align with the objective of the course. Yes, I agree with you. So they said in here it has to have like 4 basic components: the teaching portion, the active engagement, and the connection. So what do you mean by connection? So what do I mean by connection? It means
With a person, with people, with the teacher,
so with the teacher,
and
one
with other students.
on the other point, I love to make this connection. Let's say you're teaching English, so writing. Sometimes I can ask the student, why do you have to know writing well? How many times did you text somebody? How many times did you email somebody? How many times you are asked to just send a letter to somebody? So in this case, they will realize that there will be connection between what they are doing in class and what we are doing in our normal life. In addition, so in the first day, I usually ask the students, let's say I'm teaching pharmacology. So why do you need to know all of this information about drugs? Is that important for you? And I will ask them to think why it is important for them for their career. Yes, it is important they start to think, yes, we need to know when to use it. We need to know what are the side effects. We need to know, you understand what I'm saying? So the connection between what they are learning in class and what will benefit them when in their future career.
That actually is very, very important, I found, because many students have the attitude, oh, why do I need to study this? I'm never going to use it in my life.
Yes,
What am I going to do with this? I'm wasting my time. I have to take this because the school tells me this. But if you give them an overall picture of the class, what they are going to learn, and before you do that, you ask them, okay, what major are you in? What do you want to do when you finish?
exactly.
You more or less remember some of the commonalities among the students. Then you can address the different sections of your class to how they are going to be used to achieve the purpose that the student has. If you
Yes,
want to be a programmer, say in computer science, then why are you teaching them logic? Why are you teaching them this particular section of math? How are they going to use it? How are they going to evaluate a program that is better or faster or smaller? No, you see what I am saying.
yes.
That is
So
what
because
the connection.
right, right. Because one time I was teaching EKG, and then one of the students was like, "Hey, professor, if I have to know all of these, what would the doctor would know? What would the doctor will do if I need to know all of these?" So they need to understand why we are taking the class and what are the objectives. Yes, I agree. And for the mini lectures, sometimes it's good. And I found out that on Canvas, we have this option in order to add some captions and transcripts to the recording or for the many lectures we are doing. It will enable the student. Some of them, they prefer to read while we are narrating our slides or we are doing our many lectures. All right. Include short graded assessment. One just simple point I want to highlight. Mostly the online student, if something is ungraded, they will never look at it. So yes. So if you post them a very interesting video, you ask them to comment on it. If this is ungraded, they will never do. But you can just include just a small percentage, like 5 points. But they need, and the question that you're asking, it will be closely related to the video that you're posting or the discussion or the case scenario or whatever. So this may make them like committed that they have to do. Some of the tools, I think most of us are using this, like Kahoot, like Quizlet, like Nearpod. All of these, it will just give you an idea about their understanding. In addition, the student don't feel like it's text heavy, but it will be kind of interesting. If they use this Kahoot, you will let them to play as two teams. They are competing each other, and we'll see which will win. For Quizlet, I did try for the online classes because they are just working on their own. So hey, congratulations, you made it. Yeah, it's nice. It will make them to feel better. And you can ask them to write a short paragraph like this. For instance, this is in this video, they will watch what is the right protocol to answer the phone call. So the first one, it will give them a scenario about certain behavior, but in here, it will give them an idea. And it's good to just attach the link or to make it to play automatically once they click on the arrow. Why? Because it will be easy for them. Some of them, they are following while they are in their break at work. So it will be easy for them to follow. And I can ask them to give me a small paragraph and just highlighting the most important tips that they need to know. Just this is nice. So I attend the small teaching workshop with Katie Sweeting by the beginning of this summer, and this is very good advice. Instead of just exhausting yourself recording many lectures, and it will vary from one semester to the other, you can use the YouTube videos. You can use the video clips. It's the source existing media. It will help them, and it will make the concept come to life. It will be interesting for the students. Very good advice. Do you have any comments, everybody? Agree or disagree? Okay. So we all know that posting some pictures, diagrams, video clips, it will enhance the learning process. Now, in my opinion, this is the most important piece because we all know about the tech tools, but how to pick the right one that it will work for the job. How to pick the right technology tool that it will work for the job. So number one, I have to address the problem. The problem that my student have. Maybe the student don't like the text-heavy online courses. Maybe my students, they just have like short attention span, which is this is very common. So I have to address, and I need to use the technology tool that it will align with the objective of my course. There is one common point here I will share with you. First, do no harm. What does it mean? Actually, it is related to the healthcare field. What do you mean by do no harm? Are you familiar with it? So, yeah.
One of doctor's first thing, right? Like they are not supposed to do anything.
Don't do anything that's going to cause any stress or insult.
So actually, it was at the beginning. So they, in order to do harm, so don't harm the patient with any of the drugs given. First, do no harm, and then in here, the technology. Sometimes our students feel like they are overloaded. It's not only the material, but also we need to know how to use this technology. So we need to use the simplest way in order to engage the students, right? So this is what we mean by do not harm. And so I think we need to mute ourselves. Thank you. So one thing I want to add, this is very important in order to engage the student, in order to enhance their collaboration together. Let them to use the Google Docs. Last semester, I started to ask my student, I want you to make like something together, maybe discussion, think, pair and share. But some of them, yeah, they said, okay, but we have different schedule. We'll never be able to meet. We'll never be able to talk to each other. That's why we have these Google Docs. It will help them to access the Google Docs or slide to work together, to collaborate or interact to each other, someone to add, someone to delete. So they are working together. They don't feel isolated. And at the meantime, if I ask them to come up with a project or presentation or even discussion, so they will be able to work together and I will be able to grade them as a group and individually. So each part of the presentation or the project, it will be assigned to certain student. And then at the end, I will just grade them as a whole, as a group, and individually based on each piece. All right. Okay, anybody want to add something? I want to leave with you here the quote of the day. So this is, I have it. If students don't learn what we teach, so we must teach the way that they learn. So we need to teach them the way that they are able to. Hey everyone, so I enjoyed being with you. Anybody has any comments? If you want to add something.
Just thank you very much.
See you, Berlin.
For your-
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anytime. Thank you.
Thanks, Gihanna. I did actually have a question. Have you used Kahoot on the online classroom? Because I used it a lot in face-to-face, but I would switch to remote. I know a lot of students use their phone to view WebEx.
But that's the problem, because we're supposed to tell the students they have to have a computer.
Yeah.
So if they don't have a computer, they have to go to the college and get one. So that would be a good way to know if they have a computer or not. If not, tell them that they have to get the computer.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because that was my concern, because I knew a lot of them over the summer were using their phones.
Yes, I know, especially if they are outside doing something. But yeah, we need to make the technology that it will fit the objective.
Yes. So I was thinking about that because I wanted to use it too.
Yeah, I ended up using poll questions and it was okay, but I have a library of Kahoot questions. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Have a great semester.
Same to you. Same for everybody. Thanks for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody. Bye.